they don't realize that we steadily upgrading our shit because you can't really.
Steadily.
So I like to start
Yeah.
off the shows with what we're filming with, even though now my camera's crooked. Who cares? I like to start off with what we're filming with. We're using the cheapest camcorder that Sony makes. We're using the Podcast P4, and we're using some SM58 microphones because overall, this podcast is an SM58 stand podcast.
I have the exact same setup, and I'm rocking with it.
Well, normally I ask people what they use it. I know you were using that DR40 for a while.
Yes, my Zoom. I mean, my is that the Zoom? Is that's
No, it was you had a Tascam DR40.
There you go. I'm sorry, a Tascam. This is the Zoom. Yes, but before that, I had a Zoom. I had a small Zoom, the little $100 one, with the microphone built in on the top part.
So you was doing it without handheld mics, like you was.
Yeah,
that's difficult.
Yeah, it was terrible, like because the things they crap out after a while. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much. I mean, it was worth $100.
Yeah,
it was the $100 worth. But still, I was just like, I do need to upgrade. And then I got the Tascam. And then when I got the Tascam, it was nice for that few months that it worked.
Yeah.
And then it did not work after that. And I was like, man, what the fuck, man? I spent like way too much money on this for this thing not to work.
When
anymore.
you were using the $100 one, like what was your like you would like set it up in the middle of you and the person?
I had a lapel mic for an instance. I had a lapel mic, but then after that, I upgraded to a regular mic that you would plug in that would stand up.
Yeah.
I would have one of those. Then I stopped using my Zoom and I started using my computer.
Yeah.
That's what I first started with, my computer. Like
Wait, so you were using a USB microphone?
Yeah.
You know which one it was?
Like the Fin. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That did me justice for a while. But when I like in the beginning, like when I would actually just record people, it would be my little Zoom. But I didn't tell people that I was recording them. I just recorded.
We tell people here. Everybody who's on this podcast knew that they were being on the podcast.
That was way before when, that was way back then when it was. That was the thing. I was young as a comedian, so I was like, I just need to record everything, and that was my thought process. I don't do that anymore now. Like I legit sit down and have conversations with people. But
it's a very professional podcast.
Yeah.
No laws are broken.
Right.
All the stuff is medicinal. Everything's medicinal at this podcast. And we're all over 21. This is
definitely.
He's drinking a regular Heineken. I'm drinking an NA Heineken.
0%.
I would never drink on camera.
0%. But this is nice. I like your little setup. I haven't gone to video yet, even though I've been doing this for like 2 years. I'm just I like to keep it classy still. I don't know where my setup would be, and I have a camera. It's in my bag right now, but I'm like, now this is a whole nother step, a whole nother process that I have to go through now.
I'll be honest. Somebody told me that mine's not actually a podcast because mine currently only exists on YouTube. But I think starting this one, you're gonna teach us about how to like actually do a proper audio podcast with RSS feeds and uploading to a whatever. I don't even know what all that stuff means.
Well, me myself, I use Podbean.
That's like your hosting?
Yes, that's my hosting site. It costs like $20, $20 a month to keep and uphold. And basically, you just get whenever you get your audio or whatnot. I can do this from my phone. I have Designer. I use the Designer app to make my logos and my flyers for each one of them. And basically, whenever you upload to any of your audio to the Podbean, it automatically turns everything that you've done. Once you save it and render it, it automatically turns into an RSS feed.
Nice.
Yeah. So you can take that from there and bring it to any platform that you want.
It'll be on like iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts.
Yes. Pandora, all
I don't even know all this stuff, but I know I need mine on the Google podcast because Google has me in a damn stranglehold.
Yeah.
I got an Android phone. I got the YouTube account. I do everything.
Yeah.
Google, if I were ever cheating on my wife, I don't have a wife, but if I had one, Google would know. Google would be like, we got you.
We understand what you doing tonight, so.
Wait. So what's the name of your podcast?
Tell me a joke. The guideline and chasing the dream.
Tell me a joke. So like you mostly interview comedians then, right?
Well, I interview anybody that's a dream chaser,
Nice.
basically. So that's a wide range of people, depending on if they're in entertainment or if they're in like a construction field. Some people have a passion to do, just like to build shit.
Yeah.
So I like to. I'm very inquisitive about how certain people like to go through life.
Yeah.
Basically. So, and I've always asked my one question to ask people is like, is this what you've always wanted to do?
Yeah.
Since you were little, and if this is, when did that spark in your head that this is what it's going to be? And when you get down to that, like it opens up an array of questioning because some people don't think that way.
Yeah.
Some people don't have. Some people just go on about the daily day, and whenever they have a time to sit down and think about the past and like where or what's gotten to them to the certain point, it opens up a whole bunch of questions. Like I've realized who I am now just because of the questions that I've asked certain people, and certain things come up, and I'm like, oh shit, so this is why I'm the way I am now,
Yeah. What made you decide to start this podcast?
Just because like me being a comic, I knew that I had to tell my story somehow, but I've also wanted to get it to the point because it's a dream chase for me, and I'm a person that since being a comedian, one of the things that we hate is for somebody to come up to us and ask us to tell them a joke.
Yeah.
Which is the worst thing. So, but
Tell me one of them little skits. Do one of them little skits
exactly.
you got.
So I used that and I flipped it to my advantage to where I'm like, all right, this is what I want to talk about, and I also want to, I guess, document my life to the point to where I do make something of this career.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
This is my mom.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And so I've gotten it. I do it to where I document it to where it shows the progression in my career as I try to make something of this.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So what year did you start? Did you start this before pandemic or during pandemic?
It was right before the pandemic. I recorded my first one in 2019.
All right.
And my thoughts were to put it out the 1st of January 2020. So, and then that's when I was in LA. So I recorded in LA. So my recordings are before the pandemic, before the shit got terrible.
Oh yeah.
So it documents all that.
Did you ever think about, because I've heard a few of your episodes, but they're normally, it seems like they're in person. You ever do like what do you call it, like Zoom interviews or
No, I prefer to do everything in person. I prefer to have the person's feelings right there with me.
I did one on, it wasn't Zoom, it was like River FM, and I liked it. But the only reason why I did it on River FM and Zoom and not in person is there's a person who had like health issues where they were afraid of COVID.
Okay.
But it is way more fun doing it in person.
Yeah. Because you get to see the actions and everything, and you don't have a lag or delay or anything like that. You ain't got to worry about technical difficulties besides whatever you might have going on in front of you. That's it. You get to feel the person's energy, and that's what I prefer. That's what I prefer. I like the energy of the other person.
How many episodes in are you in now?
Oh, I finally got to 108. I think my next
108.
Yeah.
So you ready for syndication now? 100.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you get to 100, you could do syndicate. I don't know how syndication.
I don't know how it works.
I meant like if it were a TV show.
Yeah.
Like if you had a TV show, once you get to 100, it's time to like pop bottles.
Yeah. It did feel good. They give you badges and shit on Podbean, and that is that it's. I mean, it's satisfying, kind of, sort of, but it's just like, I'm not about to throw these badges up on Instagram being like, look how many, because I don't know how well, I know that I'm doing okay, I guess, but I don't really know how well I'm doing compared to other people that have podcasts.
So one of the reasons why I like podcasts, people like, oh, you shouldn't do a podcast until you have an idea for a podcast. Like, I don't have an idea for a podcast. It's like, that's why I'm talking to people like you who have it figured out. But it's like, one of the things is if you wait until you have an idea, you don't know how to work your equipment.
Right.
You don't know how to work the editing. So part of what I'm trying to encourage people to do is get into it now so that when you do have your idea, you already know how to work your
Yeah.
equipment, already know
Yeah.
how to work your editing, you already have your setup, you're in there.
Yeah,
You're in-
my
you're out
process
here.
my process has been 2 years now, and I have upgraded so many times from this to this to this, and my content has gone from me talking about one thing to now it's being like an array of things. In the beginning, like I didn't have little like fun little things at the end that I
You
would
got like
do.
you have like games and segments now that
When
you
I
figured
first
out.
started, I used to be like, this is the maniacal menace from the past, speaking from the future, in the past, in the future, some shit like. I used to say some crazy shit in the beginning,
Yeah.
before I would put on my theme music, and I would give a little excerpt of what the show was, but then I'm like, that's doing too, and then a friend hit me up and he was like, hey man, people just kind of want to get into the show. You don't,
Just
you
get it
don't
popping.
really need that. And I'm like, you're right. So within the first half year, I kind of like revamped and stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Like, but it felt so much better to not have to think about doing that, because I edit the day before,
Yeah.
and you know, I listen to it just to be like, what is it talking about? And I've noticed that the descriptions that I get, it seems like it attracts more people now.
Yeah. Okay. So when you say you edit, like what are you using to edit? Like what software are you using?
I have Audacity.
Ooh, Audacity is a
Yeah.
big one. Audacity is so far the ringleader on this podcast.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only
so
person who
easy.
doesn't use Audacity.
What do you use?
I use Reaper.
Oh,
We're also a Reaper Stand
He's a Reaper Stand.
account. We're
Yeah.
SM58 and a Reaper Stand account. If you guys want to sponsor us, we're with that. Okay, I'm listening though. Audacity is number one, but they
I
are
can't.
a not for profit. They can't sponsor.
I don't. I mean, I've tried. I've used other ones, but it doesn't. This one's the one I've started using. Like I first started using, so like it's just real simple to me to do certain things. I'm still learning, but you know, it makes it a lot easier. And I've seen. I recently went to a actual studio producer to
Yeah.
get some of my poems produced professionally, and I witnessed what he did to like actually make it professional sounding.
Yeah,
And I was like, nigga, you ain't do shit.
I can do the same
Yeah.
stuff in Audacity.
Exactly. I mean,
Well, the thing is, there are people.
Kinda.
Well, there are people who have like podcasts where they make a full-time living off their podcast and they edit it with Audacity.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's real heavy-duty software that can be used, even though it's free, even though it's open source. You can use it to be a professional
Now,
podcaster.
I'm not gonna knock him. He was an actual engineer and he knew what he was doing. Like I got it, but like the little shit that he did that helped me out, I was like, oh, I can definitely do that. So I was like, all right, cool. Like I mean, I would like to use his services more, but at this point in time, I'm being frugal.
Yeah,
So-
but definitely, especially if you don't have like a client to immediately turn it over with, I think recording it yourself, the best you can do it.
Yes.
And it's like a demo.
yeah.
That's what I try to do with comics when I record their live sets. It's like, oh, they're like, is this professional quality? It's like, no, this is not going to be on Netflix.
Oh, but
But it's a good demo for somebody who can put you on Netflix.
your eye on recording shit and the quality that you do bring, it is better than what most people have brought to the table.
Well, I will tell you, it is. I finally found a guy in New Orleans who I could recommend over myself. PJ Silva, I believe that's his name. I forget the name. It's like PJ Silva Studios. He had a little bit of struggle with his audio, but we sat down for like an hour and we talked about his
Yeah.
audio. And the next time I saw him out recording, he had made all the adjustments.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's nothing else I can tell you, bro. You good to go.
See,
You good to go,
And
bro.
that's one of the other steps that I say a good comedian would need is a good photographer.
Oh, yeah.
And I've noticed that when I went out to New York, because living out in LA for that year, you notice the scenes out there. So going out to New York, you understand the difference between how people came across their comedy and how they wanted to like pursue it.
Yeah.
And out there in fucking New York, there's just a motherfucker that takes pictures for people. He don't do comedy, he don't do shit else. He friends with all the comedians, and that's what he does. He comes out with a nice camera.
Oh, yeah.
And he take everybody picture. And he's like, boom, look, I got you, son. But he goes to like the book shows and shit.
Yeah.
So it's a good scene. And I'm like, man, this is one thing that New Orleans comedy is missing I mean, I know we have catchy and people of the sort, but Ketchy is busy to the point to where she has to do her own thing as well.
Sometimes Ketchy will have 5 shows in the same night. She can't be there to photograph you when she's got 5 of her own shows in the same night.
He don't do shows. He just comes and take pictures. And he take good ass pictures. And it's like, oh shit, we missing that because you missing the professional quality of what we can get just from being on stage. You know.
There.
Just having a good fucking photo of you on the mic somewhere that goes far. And I've noticed the pictures and shit, they have high quality like SNL photos out there because and I'm like, damn, this is another step in comedy that some people are missing, and that's one of the things that you were actually bringing to the table.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. People are like, John, you're such a selfless person. You're taking all these great photographs of people. I was like, no. The main reason why I'm taking photographs of you guys is when I book you guys on shows, I don't have to ask, do you have a good the flyer's already ready.
I love
the flyer is when I book somebody, I go, yes, and I send them the flyer. And it's like, damn, you did that quick. It's like, no.
Had the same mindset.
I did this flyer a long time ago. I was ready for it.
Yes, I have the same goddamn mindset. Back in the day, man, I used to take nothing but footage, pictures of everybody, man. I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. One day, then all this shit gonna come to fruition, and we gonna use this, and it be like, man, we want to make a fucking story of New Orleans comedy scene back then. And be like, oh, hold on, I got you, and like you have kind of taken the reins of that now.
Oh yeah,
like but you are getting better quality shit than I did.
My photographs are a motherfucker at this point.
That's awesome. I didn't catch that. I caught the griminess of what we did.
We had one where I did the photographs for somebody's show, and I hired another photographer, and they thought I hired the other photographer because I couldn't cover it. I was like, okay, full disclosure, this is the first time I'm ever saying this on camera. I struggle with taking pictures of light-skinned people.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, struggle to taking pictures. Hold on. You take good pictures.
Of dark-skinned people. Of dark-skinned people.
I love it.
Because for the first 2 years, I got this camera. I got this nice camera. I got this nice lens. Nobody would sit for photographs with me. So I had to practice on myself. I myself am a dark-skinned person.
Yep.
So I got really good at taking pictures of dark-skinned people.
Yeah.
And then
that's
anybody
right there.
Anybody lighter than a paper bag is like, this might not come out right.
I got to
just be struggle mode. I don't.
Let's go in this shade real quick.
This white blonde lady who's doing comedy. I don't know how to take pictures of this lady. I need some back. I brought in some backup. But anyway, I took a bunch of pictures. One of the pictures went viral, and it was of a dark-skinned comic. But people didn't realize I took the picture, and it was like, oh, this is like the best photo of you ever. Yeah, this is a great photo. I had to like slide in, like, yeah, I took that photo.
Oh,
and everybody's like, oh, John doing it like that. Yeah, John doing it like that.
This was a phone photo.
Nah, this was from a real camera.
Okay, what camera are you using?
I have a Canon M50. It's like their bottom of the line mirrorless crop sensor camera. But I have a pretty nice. I have a lens that costs the same price as a camera.
Yeah,
so I paid $450 for the camera and $450 for the lens.
It's never. I've from what I've taught, because what I've been told, because I also try to get into photography as well. I have a Rebel T5 Canon and DSLR, and I try to use that for the because I wanted to record at one point in time. But then noticing that, like, yeah, I have this camera, which was expensive, which is cool, but it ain't the camera.
It's the lens.
It's the lens.
It's the lens, baby.
It's the motherfucking lens.
It's the lens, and the
lens can cost just as much as the camera did.
So I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but we are literally using the cheapest camcorder that Sony makes.
Amazon?
I didn't get it from Amazon. I got it from Best Buy.
Oh, okay. You went in.
But I love this because I get to, when I'm thinking about filming something, I can figure out my angles with this. Super cheap, super easy, fits in my pocket. But I'm in theory, I'm thinking if the lighting is bright enough, this is gonna look good. We're gonna find out today because normally it looks like trash.
Yeah, when you do got good lighting though. That's always a key.
I got the lighting.
Always a key.
They don't know.
That's always a key. You gotta have good lighting. You gotta have good lighting.
This is gonna be the first podcast I ever post that has any sort of editing in it besides.
I have a whole light system with the umbrellas and everything.
What?
Yeah.
What are you doing with that?
Nothing at all. I try to do it myself and record myself, which I have done a few times. I just haven't put it out yet. I haven't put out the recordings that I made. One is really depressing, and the other one I try to use special effects and everything. I did. I got a green screen. I bought a green screen, my nigga. So I got professional lighting with a goddamn green screen.
You
It's
have like
not big enough.
a studio set up in your house or
Man,
something?
my room. If I fucking move the bed to the side, bitch, I got a good studio session all by myself, like a weirdo, my nigga.
Your wife walk in, she's like, where do I put my
Oh,
stuff?
I tell her,
Just-
hold on.
Just hang it on that C clamp light. Just
I
hang
tell
it
her,
over
text
there.
me before she come in, cause she gonna bump one of the lights. So don't fuck it up. I'm recording in process. You know, it don't
God damn it,
help.
Gina! I'm recording in here. You
Yeah,
and your girls out
son,
there kikiing.
It's so
I'm
difficult.
trying to record.
It's so difficult to do, nigga. I had to set up like to where I got wires from my camera to a monitor that I put on a TV just
Yeah.
so that when I do face the camera myself, I know that I'm in frame because I'm so lonely. I do this by myself. And it's sad to do, but once it's finished and I edit it, it's like, oh, that's
Oh,
dope, man.
perfect.
That's dope. But you know, when people ask, man, how'd you do that? Who helped you do that? Nobody.
So like you're like me, a solo practitioner of the podcast arts.
Yes. Yes.
I gotta know, like, how did you
Alone in a closet.
with what do you call it? Your hosting. How did you settle on this hosting service?
Oh, a friend told me about what he used to use in the beginning because he did podcasts. Shout out to MH.
Wait, I gotta stop you. Every time you say "in the beginning," I
the
think about that earthquake joke.
Talk about the comedian Earthquake?
Yeah, earthquake. Did you see his most recent Netflix
Yes,
special?
I did.
What's the famous soul singer that died with the Aretha Franklin?
Uh-huh.
He was talking about the Aretha Franklin funeral, and he's like, it was a long ass funeral. When the pastor come out and read the whole Bible, pastor come out and goes, in the beginning, in the beginning, in the beginning, and you keep saying in the beginning, and I was trying not to reference it. I was like, I got
phenomenal fucking special though. There's not too many on there that's really, really good.
I mean,
It's 35 minutes of bang.
I think it is the best comedy special since 2000 in the last 20 years.
Minutes.
He got in there, he got out of there.
Got in, got out.
I think that's
Oh
the
my
first.
God.
Like now that I record audio for comedy, I think that's probably the first stand-up special I've ever heard where they probably had to turn the audience down
Yes.
because it's like this is loud,
Non-stop.
even
Non-stop.
edited, and it's frequent.
Oh my!
It's-
I was like, this is a comedian. This is comedy. Whatever else y'all been watching, all right, that is almost there. But no, that is not what. This is what you get in the club. Like
Yeah.
when somebody's crushing in the club and doing
Oh, you hear the laughs bouncing off the wall.
off the walls. You can catch them motherfuckers. You're like, oh shit, that's a laugh right there. Throw that bit back out there. Recycle that shit, nigga. That's a good fucking show. That's a killer. You don't normally get to capture killer sets like that and put it on Netflix. You don't normally get that.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is respectfully to all the other comics who are top tier comics, good enough to get their specials on Netflix. I don't think anybody on Netflix has something that messes with his.
No,
Like
no.
there's just
something
to get something that was recorded as hot as his, you'd have to go back damn near to Richard Pryor.
something like that.
Oh,
was-
Eddie Murphy. You have to go back to Eddie
Oh,
Murphy to
right,
get
right.
something where it was that palpably hot.
something
the
like that
audience.
that was very close for me was Roy Scovel's.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
His old one is very it's old. It's about a few years old, but if you can catch that one, just the shit that he does, or Ian Bagg.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
Oh my God, Ian Bagg
Where
is
he
the
from?
goddamn I forget where he's from.
In the U.S., England, what? With a name like Ian, I don't know.
Yeah, see the thing.
I know he's white though. I do know he's white.
Crowd work master.
And he did that in
I
the special.
Think, what? I
Balls
think his entire
huge.
special is crowd work. Like this person makes me envy knowing that crowd work is a thing in comedy.
Yeah.
Like fuck, like that is one thing that I do dread. So I try to I try to stage certain things to where I can get some crowd work in there.
Yeah.
But I try to if for the most part I stay
You ain't gonna
away
do
from it.
30 minutes of it.
Yeah, no, this nigga did a whole hour, and it seemed like this is what? Did you have anything planned? And it is so funny to the point. It's not earthquake bomb
Yeah.
bomb funny.
But you can't. With crowd work, it's not gonna be like that.
Exactly.
It's not gonna be like that.
It's to the point to where it's like, nigga, this is real funny, and I don't know if you making this up on spot or if this is planned. Like it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, those crowd work comedians are like sorcerers We start to get to see, like, we get Sam Talent down here a good bit. We get Sean Patton down here, like
Shout
two
out
guys
Sean
who are
Patton.
like
Yeah.
amazing at crowd
Gives
work.
the best hugs.
He high-fived me once, and then he goes, "Where's Kamari?"
Yeah. I'm glad Kamari got to do a show with him out there. Every time I see him, he's always like, "Oh, cow!" And then we give the biggest hugs to each other. And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, Sean?" And we have a good time, man. I love seeing the famous people
So
down here.
how do you go about, so like, I know now that a lot of the people are comedians, most of them are some sort of performer, some sort of artist.
Yeah.
How do you go about like getting people on the show? Like, you like email them, you text message them as people you know.
No.
You ever interview somebody you didn't know before you
on my
interviewed them?
podcast? Oh no,
Yeah.
no. Usually it's somebody that I am very compelled by, like somebody that grabs my interest.
Yeah.
Like somebody that I'm like, oh, bitch, you are out of the ordinary. You are not like these. It's kind of like a scouting process.
Nice.
Yeah. So I see somebody that has potential to do something, or to be something amazing, and I'm like, I want to talk to that person to see where their mind's at, because you're different. You're
Yeah.
not like everybody in the world. I understand that. I'm different. Like being a comedian, we are different. We don't think like other normal people in the world. You know,
Yeah.
we see the world from a different perspective. So it's always a grandiose type of vision that we have. It's very the thoughts that we have. They're very imagery heavy.
Yeah.
So to be able to talk to somebody that I know can possibly go somewhere with what they have, that's what interests me. So that's usually how I grab them.
And so this is a little bit off topic, but like, you've been a part of the New Orleans scene. You're currently a part of, is it the Houston scene?
I guess you could say that.
And you've been in LA, you've been in New York, you've been in a lot of
Yeah.
places. Like, what compels you to go to other places and try your material?
Just because I don't like. It's fine here. That's cool, and I know it's a fucking hit and a miss sometimes when you're doing it here, because everybody is either drunks. They don't come here for the comedy. So I wanted
True.
to. I want to go to other places just to see if what I do down here is the same. Because people come here from out of town and they be like, man, you do well out in fucking Cal. I've had people in the beginning when I first started, they were like, man, you ever been to California? You do well in California. Which, boom, sparked it in my head. It's like, oh, people say you should go. That's what a Mecca is. You know, so yeah, that was a thought I would want. I always was curious on how well my comedy would do in other places, because here it's one thing, but this is one perspective, one
Yeah.
type of energy, compared to like LA. LA is a different type of energy, but also it's an energy that they haven't seen me.
Yeah.
Basically, LA, they have comedy. I was just talking to this about with Amanda G.
Love him,
They-
man. Amanda G was the
Shout out to
first
Amanda.
guest on this podcast.
Yeah,
Go back and watch it.
I just had her on mine a few hours ago, about an hour ago. But to go out to LA, you see the type of comedy that they're on, and it's just like, oh, this is what you do. This is the type of comedy y'all have out here. A lot of succubus out there.
They got a
motherfuckers-
sound out there. Like
They
you know,
don't-
it's like, is this an LA comic?
They don't try. They want to go for what's shocking, you know. And then I come out there and I do what I do,
Pure funny.
which is it pops. It stands out.
Pure funny.
And so it's easy to like skip between lines out there, like to go like, okay, I made it. I show myself here. Now these people ask for me. Now these people ask for me. But if you just try to do the comedy circuit out there,
Yeah.
it is shit. It is not the thing you want.
I hear it's not fun.
No, potlucks to fucking
Wait.
bringer shows.
Wait. Like, literally a comedy show at a potluck?
Not an actual potluck to where you put your shit inside the pot and you'll be lucky if you get if you get pulled that night.
Wait. So bucket mics is what you're talking about.
Basically.
So
in some of these bucket mics, you have to pay to get on.
you have to
gotta
pay,
to
and
get
you
a drink.
still might not go up.
And you still might not go up, depending on how long the show is gonna be.
And so like, you don't know that you're not going up. Like, you just there the whole night.
Whole night, just hoping, antsy, butthole clenched, like listening to terrible stand up.
And I'm sure they do a little bit of finagling with the pot a little bit.
Oh, what? When
Where
their
it's like,
friends
how
come-
this guy name get pulled every time as soon as he walk in?
Immediately how this guy came in, because you know him personally. His jokes was shit. What are you doing? Like, he's trying to be one person that he sees in Hollywood, and I don't care for this shit. It was.
I liked it the first time I heard it.
Oh my goodness. And you would listen to certain people, but when a good comic would go up, when you know somebody was real good that stands out from the rest,
Yeah.
everybody shuts the fuck up. And it's like, oh,
Okay.
there's a pecking order out here. And I get it. But the only way you can actually make progress out there is if you know somebody. If you don't, because like I always put it, man, going out to LA, if you visiting, you outside the fishbowl. Everybody's like, oh, you like this? You like what you see? Let me give you a taste. Cool. But when you live there, you inside the fishbowl now.
You competition
Yeah,
now.
bitch, you one of us. Nigga, get it how you live. And it's like, oh, fuck. And it's terrible. They show you all of the shit on the outside, which the bums and the peons got to do. And it seems like you'll never progress unless you stand out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't get this from where I grown up in comedy. New Orleans is not like that.
No.
And it's everybody against each other out there. And I'm like, I wasn't told that it was like this. Like, now I'm conflicted in my head. Like, I'm supposed to come here and love this and enjoy this, but I can't enjoy this because this is not the energy I was raised on.
Yeah.
And it fucked me up. I was glad I was able to fucking get the fuck out of there.
Well, please do not shit on the Houston scene. But I'm gonna ask you, what do you think about the Houston scene? If you have, I'm too close to Houston to have Houston
Honestly, my
chicanery on my
nigga,
podcast.
Honestly, my dude, Houston is so much better because once you get in, they show so much love out in Houston. Like, it don't matter who the fuck you are, where you fucking come from, nigga. Houston is Houston. Houston is grained and inbred into anybody that is Houston. Houstonians will be Houston forever.
Yeah.
Slim Thug, Houston. Nigga,
Houston.
Mike Jones, Houston.
What's his name? Great comedian from Houston. He had one of Ali
Straight Houston.
That was the guy that made me want to get into comedy. We're watching one of his specials a few years ago. What we at time wise?
Good time.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna ask you a question.
okay. Oh, but
So
Houston.
tell me about Houston. I'm gonna ask you a question after.
Houston, amazing. Once people fuck with you out in Houston, they fuck with you, and they try to get you on anything. Like once you can get in Houston, it's nothing but love, and everybody from Houston is just like Houston, nigga. Straight Houstonians, swangers, fucking pokers, fucking
Fifth Ward,
Third Ward, nigga, fucking Greens Point, nigga, slow banging. We got
Was it
lean.
Sugarland? What is it?
Sugarland, Pearland, all that, son. Nigga, they fuck with you out there. And lots of people have the same story, just like Ali Sadiq. And it's so amazing to talk to people like that. But yes, continue.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. So, like, we're coming towards the end. I try to keep this under 30 minutes, but every once in a while, I have a guest who's so compelling that I lose track.
Great time.
I thought I was gonna look at the thing and it's gonna say 11 minutes.
Oh no,
It said 33 minutes. And I was
We've
like,
been in it.
So, I'm still trying to find what my main actual podcast is gonna be. It most likely will not be a comedy podcast. Nobody wants to hear a comedian who's only been doing comedy for 4 years do a podcast with their thoughts on
Your
comedy.
comedy don't show it though. You seem like
does-
you've been in it for the trenches.
It does not. I was gonna start dropping names like a few pros see me. And I was like, how long you been doing comedy?
Exactly.
And I said a number, and they go, "Goddamn, bro, okay." But anyway,
Exactly. Yes.
so if I did a podcast, so suggestions I've had already, the best suggestion I had is I should do a gaming podcast. So you
gaming
can't do that.
podcast?
Well, you know, I work at the arcade.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I used to be a competitive video game player. So you can't say gaming.
Okay.
From the little bit you know about me, what do you think? If I did a podcast, not comedy, not gaming, what do you think I should do a podcast about?
Shoes.
Shoot. Ooh, hold up a second.
You a big shoe. Like, you always have fresh shoes on.
Hold up a second.
You are the shoe guy.
They're a little dirty,
Like,
but
oh my God, are they the
I got-
pumps? Nigga, what are you?
no, these are new LeBrons. You know,
Oh,
I might have them in 2 or 3 different colors. I might have a few pair of some other Pumas and
You
Jordans
can
in the car.
definitely have a shoe podcast, my
So
dude.
the next one we're gonna do a 5-minute shoe podcast because that was a great suggestion. I don't know why that's never crossed my mind.
Really? Are
Never-
you serious?
I have so many
You
pair of
made a whole
sneakers.
video with Kamari in the shoe line just to get a certain Saucony.
Me and Kamari, who's yet to be on this podcast,
The Cafe Du Mont Saucony.
waited in line for 20 hours to get some Cafe Du Monde Saucony's. Saucony's.
Motherfucking. I
wanna
have never
know-
worn a Saucony ever in my life.
I mess with that brand. But you want to know the best part about waiting in line? So like I'm like live tweeting about it, and I'm getting DMs on Twitter and Instagram. I didn't post anything about it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm getting live DMs where it's like, okay, I'm seeing where you're standing at in line, like from people all over the country who are not in New Orleans, and they were like, I'll give you $500
out of here. Are you serious?
to buy these sneakers for me. And they were like, if you say yes, there's a person in line behind you who will walk up to you and give you the money right now.
They like the show Sneakerheads with Bosch. Have you seen that on Netflix?
No, I've not seen that on Netflix.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, that's amazing that you told me that.
That's how real it is. This guy was like, I need a size 14 in the white.
Whoa.
But I was there with Kamari so that he could get the white ones and the brown ones. I was like, nah, I'm here with somebody. And it was like, yo, seriously. And then the price started, because it started off as, I'll give you $200.
Yeah.
And then people heard that I was telling people no. They got up to like 600. So I was like, I'll give you $700.
Shit.
And they're like, we'll give it to you right now. Because they know I'm a sneakerhead. They know I'm not going to run off with their money.
Right.
It's like, if I say it, but I was like, no. The same way that you can trust me with your $700 is the same way that this guy could trust me in line with him. We had this agreement before I came out here.
My brother-in-law works for Foot Locker. Foot Locker, he does the same thing. Nigga, he worked for Foot Locker in my entire existence of knowing him. Nigga, and his hustle game, ridiculous. Exactly what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Exactly what just imagine you being the guy at Foot Locker.
And you just walking through the lines like, hey, my man.
Right. Boom. Hey, how much the shoes is? Oh, they got them new Yeezys out. Nigga, them Yeezys is what, 1,200? Bitch, I'll put 700 down. Just hold on a size 12 for me.
Have no idea.
And I'm gonna pay extra on the shoe.
People have no idea how much money is in sneakers.
So much. It's free. Dude, it'll blow
The
your
thing is,
fucking
I
mind.
don't mess with flippers, the people who like invest in sneakers at all.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how it works like that.
When it's a real collector who I know is gonna actually, like when somebody says a size 14, they're not buying it to flip, they're buying it to wear.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers like, oh, I need a size 14. He's like, oh, this is a real collector right here. And I was like, okay, I'll consider it. And I talked to Kamari. Kamari was like, you can do what you need. Not Kamari. You can do what you need to do, bro. But
that's a good Kamari.
And I was like, okay. I don't need $700 that bad, even though my car's about to get repossessed. I'm out here with the man.
I need these shoes.
But anyway, this has been John Reynolds at the Walk the Crowd podcast, aka
I love that
Podcasting for Stand-Ups with Kyle Smith. Tell them the name of your podcast.
Oh, it's been.
Wait, say your name too. Say your name.
I go by the Monocomentous Kyle Smith. Say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. Oh, you can just call me Kyle Smith. It's hard to find on Facebook. But my podcast is Tell Me a Joke, yo. Tell Me a Joke. Damn it. Tell Me a Joke. The guideline to chasing the dream. I was about to give you emails and everything.
Where can they find it? Where can they find it?
You can find it on Spotify, Podbean, Pandora, iHeart, man, iTunes, all those.
You can find it everywhere except for the one place you can currently find this podcast, YouTube.
Oh yeah, if I don't get monetized, you can possibly find me on YouTube as well. But YouTube monetizes the fuck out of my audio sometimes.
Demonetize.
Demonetize.
Why they do you like that? You be playing music?
No, well, in the beginning, I used to say fucking.
In the beginning.
In the beginning. In the beginning, I used to say weird shit, like shit that they wouldn't let you say in the first 10 minutes. And when the COVID came out, I used to say ivermectin a lot. And I'm pretty sure they don't.
I don't even know what that means. Did I just get demonetized? We don't really care about being monetized on this one, so
they don't do that.
Well, what is I'll bite. What is ivermectin? What is ivermectin?
That's the horse tranquilizer that Joe Rogan was taking.
What does that have to do with podcasts? Oh, because Joe Rogan did it.
It was a conspiracy that ivermectin was horse tranquilizing, and people would take it and you wouldn't have COVID no more. And it was like, oh, you can't. Yeah, COVID warning. Now you're gonna have a COVID warning on your shit because
my podcast has been. So I already think that the last one I did, I got. So like I was having podcasts I post and they get like 60 views, 70 views, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I had one where I was like smoking cigarettes, and then all of a sudden it was like 8 views, 9 views.
No, you can't.
Like no.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait 10 minutes. That's the good boy. That's
now
the good boy.
Now I know. Well, but we're not worried about being monetized. We're worried about getting the process. And the next one, we're gonna start it off with a sneaker segment where I show everybody my sneaker collection.
You should do that.
Yes.
That's the way to go.
It's gonna be me and Josh Watts. That's who the next guest is gonna be. It's me and Josh Watts.
Fucking perfect.
And we're gonna do a dual banger episode where we talk about his podcast and we talk about sneakers. Okay, thank you guys. John Reynolds, Walk the Crowd Podcast, aka the John Reynolds Podcast, aka Podcasting for Standups. We will see you guys later. This is Kyle Smith. Bye, guys.
Holla.
Hell yeah. Ooh, good 40 minutes. It's so good. I get to open up when I'm on other people's shit.
Yeah, man.
So I get excited. I'm like, oh, somebody's going to ask me questions about what I do.